Hi everyone, I'm Casty at the Poets Corner here with Julie Amour with another author interview. Julie Amour is a writer, singer-songwriter, graphic designer, bookstore owner, and more. And I'm really excited to discuss her new book out, Tamam Shud Cipher, Principles and Method, and we'll talk about that later on. But first, I have some introductory questions. How you doing today, Julie?
Great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from Northern California. I live in Redding. I live part-time up in Mount Shasta. I go back and forth.
Nice. And have you been there your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just
Nice.
California. I used to live in LA and part-time up here. And
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, it's so beautiful in California. I love going there. I'm in Las Vegas, so I like to travel there for trips.
Oh, I have family over there. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So, are you married?
No, I'm divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your kids. I understand you had to stop school to homeschool your kids.
Yeah, I have four children.
Oh,
My
okay.
oldest is 29 and 22, and the other one just turned 18, and I have a 10-year-old. Um,
Oh, that's so fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, lots of different ages.
oh yeah, it's spread out pretty good.
I bet you have
And
your
my
hands full.
yeah, oh yeah. My third child, she had emotional problems and couldn't go to school. And so I had to homeschool her for the whole time. When she got to high school, it was like I could back off a little bit and just, be a guide for that. But yeah, it was very consuming. And I
Wow.
had to stop school and all that. It was a nursing school dropout.
How long were you in nursing school?
Oh my goodness. I started out with surgery school. And when my niece went missing in McLeod, I just stopped because I wanted to go and deal with that. And when
Yeah.
I tried to get back in, it was just too hard to get back in. So I said, well, I'll just do something else. And that's when I permanently moved up to Mount Shasta, just
Okay.
to be closer to the family and the situation that was going on. Um,
Man, yeah, I bet that was difficult.
Yeah, she's been missing for 25 years, 26 years.
Oh,
And
I'm so
it was
sorry.
an unsolved cold case. And I just despise the word unsolved and cold
I
case.
bet.
I don't believe that anything is I just don't believe in that, you know.
Yeah, that's oh, man, that's crazy. When you're not writing, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm playing chess with my coffee in the morning and uh, I love tennis. And I'm reading all the time, reading, writing, no
Yeah,
matter what.
what are your favorite genres?
Oh, I really love satire. I'm reading right now Beautiful You, which is probably not something I should admit because it's just so strange, but it's so hilarious. But I really love history. I feel like I'm doing two things at once. I'm learning and I'm having entertainment at the same time.
That's awesome. Sweet. Well, I understand that your parents were signed to Capitol Records from 1967 to 1973, and they inspired you to write and perform as a singer-songwriter. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh man, my parents in 73, they didn't want to be in the contract anymore, so they stopped that. So right when I was born, that was over. But they continued on with their music, and they were hippies. They started out with acid rock, and shock value right there. Um, and our living room was just filled with hippies all the time, and just people from all over the world. Like we had a sitar player in there all day, that kind of a thing. And people
Wow.
coming, going, and sharing their music all the time. And my parents back then, when you would copyright, you had to actually have notation. So there was always that kind of a project going on. And so I started writing my own stuff, but my family also, we have on both sides of the family, we have kind of semi-famous people. My uncle John Amour, he was in Days of Our Lives as a kid, and also in little shows. I don't think it was Leave It to Beaver, but stuff like that.
Okay.
My cousin right now, he's the casting director for Rick and Morty, and he
Ooh.
won award for Virgin Suicides, and so there's always something going on in the family like that.
Wow. Yeah, lots of artists. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
That's
so, I wanted to be a part of that. And so I was writing really early. I learned to play piano. And then later on, I played guitar. And my father builds guitars. So he builds all of my guitars for me. And my
oh
mom is still writing. She writes children's books now. So there's always a project going on.
yeah, lots of inspiration too, I bet,
Oh,
around
yeah.
growing up with all that. And yeah, music is, at least for me, music really inspires me to write too. So do you like listen to music while you write or anything like that?
Well, when I have my writing projects going on, I usually listen to a lot of French music
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff, and a lot of instrumentals so that I don't have words that get caught in my head, or, things like that. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. I
Awesome.
listen, I'm always listening to music, just always. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like classical or all the way to rap. I just can't help it. I love music. So my YouTube channel, my YouTube videos is just so scattery.
That's so funny. So what kind of music do you like to sing and write? Like what's your favorite genre?
Well, they would probably be like hippie coffee house kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like love songs and things of that nature. I tried to branch out and I'm like, that's not working. I can't,
Yeah,
but
stick to your roots.
right. But I sang blues rock when I was with the band and stuff, at that nature. I tried to do a country band and that would have been great, but too much conflict with my guitar player.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he would try to bring these songs. I go, you haven't learned that song good enough. I don't think we're ready. We're not ready.
So you performed a lot.
I performed for a while, yeah, until I got married and had kids. I was just like, yeah, it was like 3 days a week, kind of, yeah. And then we were part of the Blues Society, so we were doing that. It
Wow.
was a lot of fun. It was addicting, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that sounds like it was a blast, honestly. Sweet. Well, so I understand that you also own your own bookshop, which honestly I feel like is any author's dream. That is so amazing. So tell me more about that.
Well, I just thought, well, let's just stay in the theme of everything. What do you want to do? I want to sell books. So it took me about a couple of years to, because it's in my garage. It took me a couple of years to clean the garage out, get everything prepared and to get the books in. And then I have about 3,000 books, but only 1,000 are listed because I'm getting donations a lot. And then whenever I'm out and about, I see a bookstore, I have to go in there. So I'll come out with bags of books and stuff. The hardest part was figuring out how to stock them so that I can pull them for Amazon really quick.
Okay.
So I don't file it or stock them by the author's name, just the title. And now because I could sit there for a little while and figure it out, I really have a good system going on right now. But it's really new. I've only been doing that for like 7 months, but it's just been such an adventure and I love it.
Wow. Oh, that's so awesome. So you sell through your bookstore through Amazon as well?
Yeah. And I'm trying to get my website up and going, but oh my goodness, that's just so complicated,
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting a website is a lot.
Yeah. And
Well, but it's still new.
somehow,
You got time.
yeah. But my bookshop is called Julie's Bookshop, keep it in the theme. Just really simple, you
Yeah.
know. My
Wow.
favorite bookstore here in Reading is called Cal's Books, and he's just got a million titles. And I thought, well, look at his name. I'll just do that.
Yeah, sweet. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. So do you also have your books in your bookstore?
Yeah, I have, well, I publish through Kindle, so you can have that in an ebook form or the print form. But I had Reading Printing Company printed up my first books, but I had given them the wrong USB. So we have about 20 to 30 typos in there. And with me, I'm a perfectionist. So I was like, oh my God, can't. And so my idea is to fix that by hand, just like Edward Fitzgerald did with
Oh,
the Tamam Shud, or the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam when he first printed it out. It was had too many typos. So we hand fixed them all and put them back on the rack.
wow.
And yeah, and I thought, well, let's just stay in that theme, and maybe I will make them for 99 cents. I don't know, but that's what he did back then. It was the penny box. Um,
Um,
but I'm going to fix them with the archival ink and then sign them and put them up for sale on Amazon.
Sweet. Yeah, signed copies. That's awesome.
It'll
That's
be
the
fun.
perfect fix. I love that. Well, so I understand that you also do graphic and book design. How did you get into that?
Well, I was doing graphic arts like many years ago when I first got a computer in the house. It was just like, let's play around with that. I had Photoshop, but I got another computer and I got new software, and I was like, well, look at how much we can do now, and started making flyers and logos and just designs like that for local businesses and for some friends, made banners, and I just thought, well, this is so much fun. But I know that other people are way, way more advanced than I am. But I just love the art part of it. And
Yeah. No, that I feel like
after I
that's
wrote this book, sorry, after I wrote this book, I was like, how about we make some more? So I made a more library series, and I took public domain books and put a reading guide with them, like classical literature, and put a reading guide with that so you can get the best and most out of your reading. And so I just started designing those, and it's been so much fun. I'm never bored.
yeah, that's awesome. You got so many like artistic outlets. That's so great.
Yeah, I've got it's really good for the soul. It really is. I'm addicted to expressing myself. I can't help it. I can't help it.
That's good. That's really good. So I know I kind of asked you this a little earlier, but what are some of your favorite genres to read and write?
Well, yeah, I love history, and I love that kind of thing there, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily well, it is a genre, but I mean, what I really intended to write was sci-fi. When my best friend was dying of cancer, I thought I would entertain her with stories. So I'd make a title, and then I would do a synopsis, and she would laugh. She goes, "Oh, I've heard that before." Or she would say something like, "Well, why would he do that?" And so that kind of became the game and everything. But when she went to the hospital for the last time, um, I was like, okay, this is it. Let's do one for her that will be not no one did that before. So I said, Google, give me the top 10 murder mysteries with a code in it. Because I thought, well, we'll just have a simple book code in it. That's interesting. And boom, the Tamam Shud Cipher came, or the Tamam Shud case in Adelaide, Australia came up.
Yeah.
And I read that and I said, wow, I think I understand this. When I saw the 44 letters, I go, I have a copy. I have an 1890s copy. And I pulled that out and I said, geez, look at this. I
Yeah.
can do this. And so I told her about it, but she's kind of, in the medication and everything. And I thought, you know what? This is an adventure that I know she would go with me on. So I just decided to pursue that. And I was just addicted.
Wow.
I grew up with the Rubaiyat in my house, and my mom would recite the verses, and I went, this is easy. I think I can do this. And it wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy.
It does
But it was
not look
that
easy.
poetry. Yeah. but it was in that poetry way, and it was just speaking to me. And I just went, I think I can do this.
Wow, that's so cool. Wow, that's really cool. So, had you read about the case prior to seeing it online that time that you
No,
looked it up?
no, it was just like Google, just give me the top 10. And it was just right there, and yeah, fresh.
Oh, so that's what inspired you to write the book. And you said, I can figure out, this cipher that for like how many years had it not been known? Like it was just one of those unsolved cases.
Yeah, he's called the unknown man, the Somerton man. They found him dead on a beach in November 1948. But it's amazing how this case in particular, there's just so much information and evidence that was shared. So, to me, it was like Dr. Abbott, the University of Adelaide, he just had so much information that he pulled, but it was just like kind of going in a tangent. It was just in the weeds. So I was like, how do we simplify this? What would I need to solve that message, to those 44 letters? And so I had to weed out all the weeds, just get them all out. So with 3 pieces of evidence, I was able to solve those 44 letters. And the
Gosh,
message itself is going to help. I know everybody try to find out who that guy was. I mean, it's just that message right there is going to help solve this case. I just know it.
that is so cool. So how long were you working on this cipher before you were able to crack the code?
It was 14 months. I had it written all down on my calendar. I know that everybody wants to know how long it takes, but um, and it's like, because they'll always say that. So it was 14 months for me to do that. And then I had to take about 3 to 6 months off from even writing the book because it was just so difficult to move everything around in my mind. I had to hold all the principles, all the rules at one time in order to finish it. But I got caught in the snares, and it was a trap to confuse you and to keep you there. And it was like 3 months I was caught in that. And I realized, if I try to use this to encipher and decipher, to send and receive a message, I can't go in the way I came out or go out the way I came in. And that was one of the principal methods or principles of that. And so I just knew, but you just go around in circles, and it's so much fun. The cipher
Yeah.
is so much fun. I wish that everybody would get a hold of it because it is just so much fun to play with.
Wow, well, that's amazing that with your book you can show other people that and like because I feel like at least in my thinking like solving it is one thing, but then having to explain how you did it and like go all the way back, like I'm sure that was a lot.
It was a lot. I was thinking, well, who's the audience here? And then thought, well, the Rubaiyat audience was for everybody. Back in the 40s, everybody was carrying around of the Rubaiyat, and reciting these verses. It was so popular. So I thought my audience is everyone who is interested in the Tamam Shud Case and everyone who is interested in poetry itself. The Rubaiyat itself is I don't know how to put it in a sentence, but it's steganography. And it's like the whole Rubaiyat itself holds the instructions, and it's like a riddle. It holds the instructions for the cipher. So if you read these verses, you go, well, what's going on here? But you realize it's a riddle, and it's carrying you through this adventure. And I wanted to take everybody on that adventure with me. But how to start that book? I was like, well, let's get some common things going here. Let's define the terms here. So I have to
Yeah.
explain a little bit with that. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun
That's
for sure.
awesome. What a crazy project and how cool that you cracked the code and you solved this cipher that for decades like hasn't been able to be solved. That's
I
great.
wanted it was really weird because when I did, I thought, do people really want this solved? Because I've been looking at so much that's on TV and the YouTube and everything, and everyone's so into mysteries and myths and stuff. And I'm wondering, do they want it solved? Are they making more money um, off of it not being solved? So
Yeah,
maybe
like the
everybody's
mystery
more
of
entertained.
it.
Yeah, more entertained with the mystery of it, but I just think that it's time. And
Yeah.
it is way more beautiful to see how Fitzgerald wrote this, and everyone really believes that he translated the Rubaiyat wrong. And I go, yeah, he's making it up as he goes along a little bit to fit in all this code or cipher inside of that. Yeah. Oh, it's been an adventure.
Wow, that's so crazy. So were you able to share your findings with those working on the case in Australia?
Well, I emailed Dr. Abbott and I gave him a little bit of information. I sent him a link to my book, and I didn't hear anything back. I did that 2 times and I didn't hear anything back. Meanwhile, he still has a team down there, for the university trying to figure it out. Um, he's going about it, I think, in a wrong way. And then I emailed another cryptographer, and that was a really bad idea. He just absolutely typed out screaming pejoratives at me. And I thought, okay, well,
Really?
yeah. I kind of feel like it's an exclusive club, maybe just for men, but I don't really want to say that or feel that way.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a little male dominated. And so I don't know, but I might have said like, well, it's a public and private key cryptography. And he just went off on me like that. It couldn't be, but it was the only way that I could explain the cipher itself, because there's a public key and a private key, and I'm not a cryptographer. That's not my area. So I couldn't pin it down, but oh yeah, he just went. So I thought, well, I'll just back off and just put it up for sale. And I did a video for YouTube to walk you through it. It's kind of like an accompaniment to the book. But I don't give away like how to preset the keys or anything like that. So you got to buy the book for that. And just kind of let it have its life on its own. you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully with, your book sales, maybe with this interview, we can get like some more attention on it because yeah, that's crazy that people are still working on it and like haven't, taken your work seriously. And I was going to ask you, how many sources do you think you consulted throughout the entire process?
Well, I really relied on Dr. Abbott's Wikipedia page. He
Okay.
did a lot of work for that. I watched a lot of videos from the 80s when they did a documentary on that. I also listened to Jerry. His name is Jerry Feltus. He wrote the book called The Unknown Man. I really focused in on what the I wouldn't know what it's called. The reports from the case itself from the government, Australia's archives. Um, it was just, like I said, there was just so much information and evidence given for that case through the police down there that it was just in a tangent. So I had to just focus in on what is the most important thing. It was the Rubaiyat with the 44 letters. It was the strip of paper in his pocket that they found on him, and the suitcase that they found at the Adelaide train station. And the contents of that suitcase, it was like, well, yeah, that's what I needed too. I needed a pencil, and I needed scissors and thick paper, and those kind of things. It really made sense how that came together. So
Wow, That's
A
so
lot of information was shared. And I really believe that if I don't know how the legality of it in America, but I wish they would share more because, we have sleuths everywhere that are willing to do these things and for free, really, it's their time.
yeah.
And, but the cops and the FBI and everything, they lock information up. So we can't help really. Um, so
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, that's amazing, amazing, amazing that you were able to solve this case. And I really hope that it gets the attention of, the people working on it. And well, congratulations about your book release as well in July. So now that you have this book out on Amazon, what are you working on now?
oh, I'm working on a sci-fi. I'm so happy to do that.
Oh, yay. What's it
It's
about?
I took the idea from Elon Musk and that Neuralink, and I thought, what could possibly go wrong with that? And so there's a guy who is obsessed with his girlfriend, and he puts he gets her to go ahead with this implant, this brain implant. In doing so, he thinks, aha, I'll make some more money, I'll make money on this company where we give everyone brain implants, and he makes everyone into these slaves for other companies to, they have to go in and get, an upgrade, all those kind of things. But meanwhile, he's in love with this girl and he thinks, aha, I'll make it better. And so what she does is recruits for him to bring in all of these, these people, new slaves. And it's called Siren Song because she's the siren, but it's also a double
Oh,
entendre at the end, the sirens for the cops, they show up, and yeah, but he's a serial killer really because he's using, he'll get you and put the brain implant in, but no one knows you're kind of there. It's like with the top dogs, he's kidnapping top dogs for his like think tank, So he's like for his own company so that he can make more slaves out there for all the companies, because if you don't have emotion and you don't really care anymore, you're just going to work harder and just keep on going, So
mhm.
it's yeah, I'm like 10 chapters in. I know that there's 35 because I outlined it. I have to have little stop signs on the way.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting. Nice.
Fun. It's a
Sweet.
lot more fun. No, nonfiction is easy. I always have written that. Like in college, we have to do term papers back in the 90s. You don't have to do that now. So you have to spit out a 30-page term paper for every class that you were in, So you
Oh,
really had to hone that in. And that was a lot easier for me now. But sci-fi, that's an adventure in itself. And that's really
yeah.
what I wanted to do in the first place. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done in a year or two,
Oh,
or
yay.
less.
Well, congrats. That's so awesome. Yeah, and uh I enjoy creative writing a bit more. Like, you can it's all your imagination. Like you get to decide everything and it's really freeing and yeah, just fun. Oh, that's
It's
great.
an escape. So is reading. It's an escape. You can always go somewhere else. Yeah, it's fun.
Exactly. Oh, awesome. Well, so apart from that, do you have any new projects or goals like regarding your bookstore or just anything coming up?
Well, I built myself a binding machine. I saw it on YouTube and I went, even with my hack skills, I think I can actually do this. And it looks like a jalopy. I mean, but it works. And I love to print stuff out and make my own books for my own library. So it's fun. I'm doing that, but I'm going to continue on with the Amour library series. Um, yeah, and then, play tennis, play my chess. If there's something new comes my way, I'll definitely be doing that. I don't know, but just things like that. Anything to do with reading, anything to do with books, I'm gonna be doing it.
Man, I love it. I love how you're doing so many things, so many artistic things, and wow, that's so great. I'm
Staying in
so
the
happy for
same
you.
theme though.
Yes, yeah, all bookish and oh, that's great. Well, do you have any closing words before we end our interview?
Well, just, anybody who is interested in the Tamam Shud case in Adelaide should check out the Tamam Shud Cipher on Amazon.
Definitely.
Go on YouTube and check out the video I have there. The channel is called Tamam Shud Cipher without the. I don't know why I didn't put that in there, but yeah, check it out. Go on
Wonderful.
that adventure. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Definitely, and I'm gonna put the link in the YouTube description for this video. So the links to Julie's books and YouTube page will all be in there, so you guys can all check that out. Thanks so much, Julie, for having this interview with me. I love talking with you and learning more about your books and your life.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.